Hi everyone. I wanted to make a video today regarding two things about the fitness industry and weight loss industry that I need to settle. So there's a lot of reviews saying that like certain pills and certain supplements will make you lose weight, and I just wanted to make a review saying I've tried all of them. From like most of the ones you can mention, I have tried. And the thing is, I haven't tried it with certain combinations, but I've tried for the most of them. I tried on and off days, and I realized two things. Number one, there is a lot of marketing when it comes to this. A lot of scamming, a lot of placebo effects that is being thrown in these expensive bottles. And the second thing is the the mode of taking. So how you take it is really, really important. Now, I'm a medical student. I'm here in fourth semester, or fifth semester now. And I just wanted to talk about from a medical perspective, from a medical student perspective and a fitness perspective, how this affected me. Number one. Number two, you have two things in front of you now. You have the Yohimbine HCl, which is 2.5 milligram, and you have the CLA. And from my perspective, I realized that the Yohimbine works as an appetite suppressant. Now, maybe the dose that I have is too low, as I take almost 2 or 3 times a day of just 2.5. But I noticed one regular effect on the Yohimbine. One thing I notice every time I take it is appetite suppression. This is very, very true. And every time I take two capsules at a time, and the third one late at night, maybe, depending how I'm feeling, I notice serious appetite suppression. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that's online that's saying you're going to get an anxiety if you're predisposed to an anxiety already. You're going to get panic attacks, heart racing, stuff like that. I did not notice any of this. And in terms of weight loss, it works by my like. There's a lot of stuff that says alpha 2 and stuff like that, but from my experience, it works because of appetite suppression. It really does. 15-20 minutes, the hunger just goes away. And so I think I wanted to clear that up. And again, I'm not big enough on YouTube to be sponsored by Yohimbine or CLA, or I don't have any connection to these guys. The second one that I want to talk about is the CLA. Now, one thing that people don't talk about that I seem to have an effect with this is the absorption of other vitamins and minerals when you take high fatty foods. And one of these could be through the CLA that I'm taking. I noticed that some things that I'm taking, for example, when I'm taking vitamin D or vitamin E, I noticed that I have more energy when I take it with my CLA, but without it, I don't have as much energy. And yes, I know you're supposed to take it with food, but specifically high fatty foods. I'm not just saying CLA. I'm saying things such as like peanuts or other high fat foods such as beef jerky and stuff like that that help to bring down or increase the absorption of your vitamins and minerals through CLA. Up on my list is the dosage for these two. So like I said, I take 2 to 3 pills of these a day. I know it's not much. People take way more than this, like I saw. And for the CLA, I take two soft gels. I know it says 1 to 2, but I like to take 2. And I've noticed that with these, it also helps with appetite suppression, but not as much as the Yohimbine. And I normally take them with all my vitamins and all other things. Which vitamins, you ask? So I take vitamin E. I think it's 300 IU. And then I take vitamin D. I also take zinc and magnesium, B6 and B12. Now, all these have an indirect effect in the release of testosterone. And if you're here, you probably already know what that does for your muscles and whatnot. But all of these really do affect testosterone. Also, what I've noticed that works as well is working out early in the mornings. Now, people say this all the time, but your insulin is at a base low, and this is for the majority of people. People say that your insulin, you're genetically, I'm not talking about diabetes is different, but some people say, oh, my insulin's different, oh, I gain weight really, really fast, oh, you don't know what my body's like. One thing I've noticed on a consistent basis between people is that your insulin is the lowest at the morning. And especially if you're doing things like intermittent fasting and stuff, where you stop eating at 8 or 9, you would notice that your insulin is way lower in the mornings. And if you start working out then, and then come back, take your CLA, and then take your vitamins and whatnot, you need to understand that the blood flow is going way more to your body when you're fasting as well. So when you're before you even eat something, you're working out, your blood flow is circulating your body really, really fast. So your absorption from the stomach of these nutrients will be much, much higher because the blood flow is increased. So when you are fasting and you're increasing your fats, can you imagine the nutrient absorption from your stomach and your intestines? It's really, really high than opposed to taking it after dinner, or it's like stationary where your insulin's low and whatnot, but or your insulin's high. But anyways, those are just my 2 cents. Again, I'm not really looking for like money from YouTube or anything, but I'm just doing this because I noticed that it took me a long, long time to understand how the body works. And there is a lot of like bullshit that's on YouTube and Reddit, and yeah, it's crazy. Like there's some things that made me, like people say that the no carb thing works. It made no sense to me after a while. Like at first, obviously, it decreases your insulin and stuff like that, but your body's metabolism would be low. So what is the result? You're not burning fat, you're just stuffing yourself. And that seems to be the high popular thing on the internet and stuff. But in terms of the number one fad or diet that I read as well is intermittent fasting. Not low carb. Low carb is not. It's not fun. It's not fun for your body. And I read this article the other day that it leads to early death, which is just crazy. But those are just my 2 cents regarding dieting and fad diets and your CLA and your Yohimbine. All right, I'm out.